Okay, I've been thinking for a minute how it's going to be difficult for the Indiana Fever to keep their core together long term. Short term, it's a little different, but this has been accelerated by the information we have regarding the proposed CBA from the league to the players, the salary cap, the salaries, and how everything would fit underneath that. Credit where it's due. I was given this account, suggested this account. Ken Swift actually sent this to me. Brianna Mitchell had talked about this on X regarding, how it's going to be difficult to fit multiple max.
It's official. The Indiana Fever, once heralded as the architects of a new WNBA dynasty, are staring down a harsh reality. The vision of keeping Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell together, three unstoppable stars, a foundation for greatness, is slipping through their fingers. The latest CBA deal has delivered a harsh truth. The numbers just don't add up. What seemed like a dream is now a financial impossibility, forcing decisions that no team wants to face. This isn't a minor setback. It's a looming unraveling, one that threatens to fracture the very heart of the team before the dynasty even begins.
For example, if the Fever paid Kelsey Mitchell the $1.13 million supermax and spent a combined $1.08 million on Boston and Caitlin Clark's mandated rookie scale salaries, that would leave the team with roughly $3.4 million to spend on 9 more roster spots, including newly drafted players. This equates to roughly $382,000 or 6.7% of the cap per player. And that's if the Fever only has one max player on its roster. This is almost $100,000 less than the proposed average salary. So to explain that, basically the way that it's proposed right now, there's a $5.65 million salary cap, right? And the max salary is going...
Isn't a distant threat. It's happening now. The proposed CBA is fast-tracking a seismic shakeup. With dramatically higher max salaries and only a marginally increased, still restrictive cap, the league has completely rewritten the rules of roster construction. What once looked like a manageable long-term plan for the Fever has become an immediate, unavoidable crisis, ticking time bomb threatening to dismantle their star-studded future. The math doesn't lie, and the numbers tell a story of looming disaster.
Basically, the way that it's proposed right now, there's a $5.65 million salary cap, right? And the max salary is going up over $1 million. It's been at about $250,000. So the max salary is going up to over $1 million, which is like 20% of the new cap. And the average salary is going to about $500,000. Right? So if you give out even the one max salary to Kelsey Mitchell, that's 20% of the cap. And then, what Clark and Boston are currently under, you have less than the average salary to spend on the rest of the players, which means, Lexi Hull
started on X, with Brianna Mitchell raising the alarm about the near impossible task of fitting multiple max contracts under the new cap. It was a chilling glimpse of the storm ahead, signaling that the age of Super Team Zaven 1, as stacked as the Fever, might soon be history. Her analysis exposed a critical flaw in the proposed financial framework, one that punishes teams attempting to build around multiple superstar talent.
Percent of the cap, and then, what Clark and Boston are currently under, you have less than the average salary to spend on the rest of the players, which means, Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, only Michaela Timpson. This is why rookie contracts are so valuable. And this is the same thing for the NBA, by the way. This is, in a sense, will mirror the current structure of the NBA, where it's much, much more difficult to put together the quote-unquote big threes. Even when the big threes were put together, think LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, it was more difficult to build talent around them. You'd had to have vets, who wanted to get a ring, like Shane Battier or somebody like that, and then players on,
Any Costable of front office sports amplified that stark warning, using the Indiana Fever as the painfully perfect example. She broke down the cold, hard numbers, focusing on Kelsey Mitchell's looming free agency. Suddenly, the blueprint for financial chaos became crystal clear, proving that the Fever's dream of a big three was already running headfirst into an unyielding wall of dollars and cents. The future looked grim, even before it had a chance to take shape.
Different, and maybe creates a little bit more wiggle room. But it's not just about this year for the Fever specifically, of course. One of the advantages they have is that Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston are still under rookie deals. If you look at the 2025 cap, you see Kelsey Mitchell there was making $250K as a base salary. That's under the core distinction. Let's say the core distinction still exists. We don't know exactly how it will shake out in the CBA, but assuming the core distinction still exists, the Fever can core Kelsey Mitchell again, meaning keep her on a 1-year deal at the Supermax salary. So that would allow...
If the Fever were to pay Kelsey Mitchell her $1.13 million Supermax salary, combined with Aaliyah, Boston, and Caitlin Clark's mandated rookie scale contracts of $1.08 million, the total for just 3 players would already hit $2.21 million. The math is ruthless. It instantly consumes a massive portion of the team's available funds, leaving an almost impossible puzzle for building the rest.
This is Boston's last season under a rookie scale deal. You go to 2027, she disappears. She will command a Supermax salary. After 2027, Caitlin Clark, no longer under contract. Obviously, she will command a Supermax salary. So that makes it nearly impossible for the Fever to have Clark, Boston, and Mitchell on Supermax deals and have a competent roster beyond that in the future. So that's where you're looking at a little bit right there, right? If first you have this immediate impact, does it allow you to keep Sophie and Lexi?
The proposed $5.65 million salary cap, paying those 3 stars, would leave the Fever with a mere $3.4 million to work with. That sum must cover 9 additional roster spots, including newly drafted Talon Truffley, $382,000 per player. That's a staggering $100,000 below the proposed average salary. This isn't just a tight squeeze, it's a straitjacket, forcing the team to fill critical roles with players paid far below their market value and jeopardizing the future they've been trying to build.
So that's where you're looking at a little bit right there, right? If first you have this immediate impact, does it allow you to keep Sophie and Lexi Hull and anybody else you might want to sign under the terms of the deal with bringing Mitchell back, if you decide to bring Mitchell back right now, and they stated that that's a priority. And then when you're going forward, that the Fever are going to keep Clark and Boston. I would assume, and that's like their number one priority, is keeping those 2 together. So what does that mean for Mitchell going forward? Is the trick a short-term deal on that Supermax salary and go from there?
WNBA is now confronting a problem the NBA has faced for years. Building a big 3 is becoming prohibitively expensive. Even with a sophisticated cap system like the NBA's, which allows teams to exceed the cap for their own players through bird rights, WNBA teams have no such flexibility. The result is brutal. Teams must sacrifice depth and surrounding talent, turning potential championship contenders into top-heavy squads, fragile in the face of injuries or unfavorable matchups.
3 Supermax players on their roster right now. 2 of them just happen to be on rookie deals. But they've got 3 players who, objectively are Supermax salary players. And then you have to figure out the rest of the roster because you want the role players to be good too. And that's where the likes of Lexi and Sophie and the deals that they get this offseason